Feature Friday.
The freshest.
We've seen two things of Breathless, which is a song by Shankar Mahadevan. I think that's his song. If not, he's done the most pinnacle, iconic, viral performance.
Okay.
Now,
we
as
like
the title
that.
suggests, Breathless, it's a song in which basically oxygen takes a back seat and just lets you become poisoned by carbon dioxide.
Oh, fantastic.
So there's not much breathing going on. We've also seen this piece be played in the Vina.
Yes, we have.
And then we saw this geezer on the reels do a bit of it. There was an argument in the comments. Like, people were saying that might have been lip synced. It doesn't seem real, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, okay, well, let's have a look at the original. And that's
Make
what's
a
fun about...
judgment from that.
Yeah, there's no, this one's definitely real. But that's what's cool about the comments, you know? So thank you so much for interacting and engaging and being so nice and teaching us about things.
so much. Yeah,
so
definitely.
it's amazing, you know, other people, I'm sure if you put, you know, good information, there's people watching from all over the world, so they'll also learn about culture and the backbone, the backstory behind the song and stuff like that. But it's an Indian Idol.
So let's have a look. Yeah. Oh, okay, he's calling the shots. Ooh, nice reverb. Okay, I just want to see what when he takes the breath here first. That's already impressive. Nice.
There you go.
See, that's really nice because in this version you can actually
It
see
seems-
physical breath.
Yeah.
Which is interesting though because his beginning, when he was trying to fill around the beginning of the song, obviously he was calling the shots, calling the rhythm into what pace and what speed he wanted the song to be at. So in those moments, his breath was actually quite abdominal. So his breath was actually dropping down towards the abdominal wall, so you didn't see any of the shoulder tension come into the picture. None of that chest breath that you could see right here, right now, which was very interesting in the previous video, because that's where I thought, naturally given the tension and the speed of the song, where the natural intention would go, right?
Yeah.
So it would go here. That's the first thing
So
you
you don't
do.
have much time to breathe.
To just open that space and just keep it here for as long as you possibly can.
It's more easily accessible.
It's easily accessible, but it creates more pressure in the larynx. So
Right.
you have to figure out a way to handle both. You either drop it down to your belly, which
To your knees.
would you drop it down to your abdominal wall, where I think it's the most reasonable, maybe perhaps the most
Efficacious.
no, the most seamless way to take a breath. Like, you wouldn't physically see the gasp, you wouldn't hear it. But in this particular case, it feels raw.
Yeah, that's
It feels
just raw as hell.
Yeah, it
Go
feels
on.
cool. This is really
I
impressive.
want to also have a search, see if we can find the original song, because there's also like a performance of him just doing it alone, but this is the one that got sent to us.
I like the fact there's two guys,
Yeah.
because you know how hard it is to sing in unison at that speed?
Go on.
Like, taking the same breath at the same time? That's
It's
really
got a
cool.
rap.
Yes, it's really awesome. You see, they take a breath in the same place together. How exciting!
I would pass out, bro.
Great, sir! You know what's interesting?
really
though?
interesting.
He's really cool.
Yeah, but apologies to interrupt, but he one of the things that's really unique about this type of song sometimes, and when you can tell whether it's bollocks or not, is you know, the exertion of movement requires oxygen. So a lot of the time when you see singers reduce their sort of movement on stage, this is a huge tell that they need to have their breath economy up to scratch. If you notice with the other geezer, he's sort of very, very active with
I
his
don't think he
movement.
was. He was pretty sturdy, which made it very believable if it wasn't.
Oh,
true.
yeah, I don't mean it, the other video. I
okay.
mean this guy.
The
both guys
guy
sort
in
of-
black.
A guy in
Okay,
black, yeah.
yes.
So he's sort of very, very sort of animated. And you see Shankar, which I think that's his name, barely moved. Like
Yes.
he genuinely has barely moved. A fucking moan.
It's quite interesting though, because given the pressure and the intensity of the singing phrases were very dynamic in the tonality and note accuracy, and they aren't the main focus and the reason of the song or the singing itself, which can make it take a back step, and then that note accuracy can fluctuate and drop.
Is that why maybe he was trying to find himself again?
Exactly that. So that specific moment where the guy in black was trying to like regain that note accuracy moment was a really clear tell, because the tension is handled in different ways in different bodies. And there was a moment there where he was standing in one leg trying to find himself. If you pay attention to this section here, look at the guy in black. He's also having trouble keeping with the tempo. This is really good, But you see the guy in black trying to balance off the pressure, and I think it's really interesting because different people handle stress in different ways, and sometimes the putting off weight of one foot to the other allows you to go into the swinging motion that your brain processes as if it's natural, as if it's normal. But it's actually quite tough to sing into that
You're sort of
motion.
decompressing. all that
Yes,
stress.
basically. But in singing technique, that would be quite injured. It would be working at your disadvantage. But they're both incredibly fantastic. That's so good.
I feel like someone's gonna drop.
No, they're not. They got that down. That's so cool. How long is this thing? Oh! Bravo! Yes, standing ovation! Sir! Yeah, literally, what the hell?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh my
He's like a
gosh.
special guest.
Maybe he's a judge, I don't know. That's incredible.
I would
Listen.
puke. I feel like that's a great tale for like lung capacity,
Yes.
and also a very torturous sort of form of like torture. You sort of put 2v2 or 1v1, right, and then you make them sing the Breathless song. This is just regular people. I think this is great television. Make them sing the song. Whoever drops first loses.
Oh, okay, nice.
If you can withstand the Breathless song, and I'd say you do this with athletes.
Oh, okay.
So people have decent lung capacity, maybe an alright VO2 max, you know, something like that. And then you sort of put him in there,
Okay.
sing the Breathless song, learn this. You only have like maybe like a few days to learn it. See, you drop. I genuinely think I wouldn't even notice when I would go.
Suddenly switches off. Wow.
It's, oh my god, did he
excellent.
die? Well, you kind of need oxygen to breathe, right? And I think oxygen really took a back seat in this fucking review.
Definitely, I think it's a really interesting technique of singing wise, and it also judges the idea of note accuracy throughout the journey of the song itself, which is pretty freaking cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, because like if you put Breathless song, it's Shankar.
Shankar
This is what comes up.
This is where it starts. This is a brilliantly freaking
Mixed, and
mixed
that's a whole
song.
breath. That one was a whole
that was
breath.
a whole breath.
That's not.
Again, this is the studio version, so a lot of things can be
But that's
fixed.
no.
But
That's,
it was one whole breath.
No,
I agree.
man. That's the phrase, the longest phrase in the song. So the rest of the bits, yeah, you kind of shorten them up. But that's the fucking part of the song that they did it live, where you're wondering when is he gonna take a breath.
Yeah. It's very well thought through with the arrangement.
Yeah.
So.
There he will take a breath. And then people pause.
Nice.
So there will be the other breath.
Yes.
So I think
Those phrases are long as hell.
exactly, they're like literally like 25, 30 seconds each.
And it's not like when diction comes into play with this type of like vocal dynamics, the breath economy changes, like the way that you think. Because if you hold for your own experiments at home, if you hold that long A sound, like a as you're trying to portray
A or ah?
both A and A,
Ah.
you would run out of breath quicker because it's an open vowel.
Yeah, but the thing
But
is, you're
listen
forgetting.
to this.
I'm a fucking machine.
Okay, nice, Efra.
Ah.
But if you did, for example,
Oh.
but if you did, for example, a closed vowel like an E sounding, right? Like E, you could maintain that airflow and that economy for way longer.
What about B?
Yes, of course you could, because it's a closed vowel.
Like BB?
Yeah. Oh my god. You forget that I have a toddler for a brother.
Woo!
But then when the diction comes into play, the breath economy changes because the dynamic of the singing phrase also changes. But even though it's a very close diction, there's not a lot of big mouth opened vowels for
So
a prolonged
Less air, right?
yeah,
Like
prolonged
E.
air of time. You could manage mouth wise like how much air you want it to come out and still be a really challenging song because there's other factors to play than just holding your breath and maintaining a single note, you know. Impressive to
Very
say
nice.
the least.
See, that's why it's fun to look at this stuff with Balucha, because I actually learned
Awesome.
something. If you go ah, you're gonna run out of breath. If you go E, so say you were shouting for help, very, very bad advice by the mainstream media. Ah, help! Ah, you're gonna run out of breath. Go E, E, help me, E. You like that?
I don't think so. Please stick
Do
to
that, do
safety
that.
rules.
Woohoo!
Oh.
Goodbye.
Oh my god.